Hello, everyone. So I'm here with my friend Joseph. Say what's up, Joseph.
What's going on?
And I've known him for, how long has it been, man? 12 years? Well, 13?
About 13,
13
14
years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I've known him since...
All 8 years of high school.
yeah, so like, even before we graduated high school, I knew him, and we graduated in 2010. But today, what we're going to talk about is how has our personal journey progressed since high school. What has changed in our lives, how we've brought about change in our lives, and what kind of person we are today compared to how we were. So, Joseph, I just want to ask you at the start, how have you changed spiritually? Like, you got your kids now. You go to church way more than you used to. As an individual, how have you changed? Spiritually, what do you focus on now compared to what you used to focus on?
Well, on the whole kids, for having kids, that's a very different perspective on anything I ever had in life. That being said, it's just now I know I don't live just for myself. I live for my kids, and that changed me completely. But my journey and through this everything is besides my kids. I have to say it's been a long journey.
Yeah, it has, man. We've changed
really
a lot
has.
since high school.
Yeah.
So, did you feel back then you didn't really care about, going to church as much, your spiritual, well-being, but now you care about it more?
Yeah.
Is it because of your kids, or is it because, just you've changed as a person, or kind of both?
Well, mainly is before I was always obligated to go with my parents, so it was something that was my choice. But
Yeah.
now, me and having kids, I have a better perspective. That you know what? Now I understand where my father was coming from, and just knowing what I know, I wouldn't mind my kids knowing that, and
Yeah.
then that way they can have their own choices. Cause like me, I grew up being a Catholic, and never really paid too much attention on their beliefs and all that. Just knowing that God is God and all that, but for me going to a Baptist church and Christian churches doing that, man, there's a lot of whole different point of views and just it's really amazing for me.
Do you feel like going to like a Baptist church now? Do you think that do you feel more spiritually connected to God than when you went to Catholic school?
Tell you the truth, not really,
Mhm.
because either way, there's still stuff that I don't like, and there's some stuff that I don't agree as well, and I just look at it this way that I don't think you should like go to a church for you to learn. I think it'll be better for you just to learn by yourself. Because don't get me wrong, man. I'm not trying to say anything that you won't learn nothing from the church.
Yeah.
And just from my perspective, I have different point of views. Like for instance, when I went to the Baptist church, it was beautiful. Don't get me wrong. The service, everything was beautiful. But I couldn't help but notice how the pastor was dressed so fancy. You know what I mean? So that was kind of getting to me, and I was just like, the first thing he asked me whenever, and I know I should not think too much of it, but the first thing he was asking me, what do I do for work and all that stuff. So I'm just like, you know what, this guy's just trying to suck our money.
Yeah.
Big fancy church, don't get me wrong, but just seeing that, and then from the Catholic church when I went before, they were just the pastors that was there were just trying to be like, you know what, you guys got to keep the holy day Sabbath. You guys need to come give whatever
Rituals.
Yeah,
Rituals.
you gotta give every Sunday, help out the church, like basically demanding us. So when I kept on saying that on every church, I'm just like, you know what? Oh man, there's a lot better way for you to try to do stuff like that, or just tell people go forward. You know what? Help out, help us out. And I understand why they're trying to say it, but when you're just so fancy like that, man, what am I supposed to think?
Yeah.
Like literally, he's like his.
You felt
body-
like it wasn't focused on the Word of God. It was more focused
Yeah,
on. It was
exactly.
more focused on like the ceremony.
Exactly,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then that's what, and the Catholics more ritual. Baptists, when I was saying, I was like, you know what, they're like more laid back, more like at ease. But then again,
Studying
like,
the Bible, maybe.
yeah, and then I don't mind none of that stuff. But just from what I was looking and seeing like that, I said, you know what, you should just be like all of us, regular.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, you know what I mean. There's nothing bad looking good, but I don't know. I don't know if I got something going on here, but I don't know. If
It probably felt more. I mean, I was in the Catholic program for a while in my teen years. And, that was just independent of my parents because my parents never took me to church or talked about God. So I already talked about that on my channel before. But we have different beliefs. But I noticed that when I was going to Catholic church and then I started going to like other churches, I noticed that there was more focused on studying the Bible at other churches, whereas in Catholic church it was more ceremony and the priest coming up with sermons that weren't really connected with the Bible as much as other
Yeah,
sections.
yeah,
It was
exactly.
more like him what he wanted to tell us, and not what he wanted to tell us from the Bible in a way.
Yeah, no, basically they'll be like, all right, this verse right here, and that's it. A quote from this verse, and that's it, and where you can find it. And don't get me wrong, I'm like, okay, let me go find it, but I'm like, I'm here for you to teach me that.
Yeah.
And then in the Baptist church, they'll explain everything.
Yeah.
And there's more and more songs, and don't get me wrong, more songs than there is more lectures and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the Catholic, like how we were just saying right now, is more rituals, bow down, do this, do that, do this, do that.
Yeah.
And just...
I did notice that when I was pursuing Christianity that was the difference.
And what I don't get, bro, from, like, why do people hold, like, the Virgin, like, from the
Rosary beads.
The rosary beads.
Yeah.
Why is it that they always have, like, the Virgin Mary on top with the cross at the bottom where Jesus at? Mary wasn't a saint or anything like that. She was just a person. From my belief, from that. You know what I mean?
and there is a difference in belief as far as the Virgin Mary goes, and Virgin Mary is not focused on outside of the Catholic Church or maybe even Presbyterian.
Especially in the Hispanic community. They worship, like, she's like the big saint. They have all that stuff. I'm like, dude, she was no God or anything like that. It's just like Moses or anybody else. You don't see us, like, praising him or doing anything like that.
Yeah, it's more about Christ as the Son of God. Basically.
Yeah.
So
that's why I was like, where can you... That's where I'm referring to. You know what? You rather just go seek the knowledge yourself and you put it in your perspective. Because no matter what is the word of the Lord. That's all you really need. But
and then that's similar to my path. And not in Christianity, but I do seek knowledge and understand it for myself. I don't have to have me between myself and the source, but between myself and God in a way.
Yeah.
I look at the knowledge and I try to digest it and understand it for myself and make that a part of who I am. So, when it came down to, starting your own business, let's move that way. When you started your own business, what made you think that you wanted to start it? Like, was it easy starting off?
To tell you the truth, no. What made me want to start to answer that first is the fact that my mom already owned a barbershop. So I know it was a family shop, but I told myself no matter what, if anything ever to happen, either sell out or pass on, it will never really be mine.
Yeah.
And plus, since just learning from that experience, just told myself, you know what, I wanted to get something of my own. Call it my own. Don't say I got it hand down to me.
Yeah.
Or anything like that, or something can be taken away quickly. I'd rather just do it myself.
It sounds like that was a real becoming a man realization for you.
Yeah, especially since high school and now, man. It just makes you want to just do anything by yourself without asking anybody. It makes you feel a lot more better.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you are independent, and I imagine that you want to transmit that to your kids, right?
To be like a lone wolf, bro.
Yeah.
To just know that anything that you want to do can be accomplished if you do it by yourself.
And I know that you work pretty hard, so I mean, as long as you got hard work and determination, I imagine that's what you need to start a business, correct?
Oh yeah. A lot of determination, especially from where I started. Like literally, that quote started from the bottom to the top. It really is true. And sometimes you're not even noticing those moments that are happening to lead you to that moment. You know what I mean?
Then you kind of wake up and you're like, oh,
I'm like, oh shit, yeah, exactly, bro. And sometimes, that's when it shocked me at first when I was a barber. First, I've been a barber for 8 years already.
Yeah.
And when it started just progressing throughout the year, I'm like, damn, I can actually say 8 years, that's fucking past.
Yeah.
You know, and now what I'm saying with this whole being a contractor and all that is already going on 3 years, 3.5 years. And I'm like, just...
So, like, as far as dealing with, your own employees now, do you have, like, their perspective in a way because you worked...
Actually, I do. And that's one thing I like. I think I'm better more as managing my own people because from what I see other people just treat me, I say, you know what, I was just like them. Just like you were just like them once.
Yeah.
Just like when it comes to the barbershop. You were a customer. Just like I tell your barber, you're a customer just like that when you go somewhere else. You know that feeling, bro. So why would you want to mistreat other people like that?
Yeah.
So just me being like that, I'm like, you know what? When I'm with them, I'm not their boss. I'm just like the regular employee because I'm doing the same thing they're doing.
Yeah.
Or even more sometimes. So I don't like just being, you know what? I work over you. I got this position. I'm the man. Nah, man.
Yeah. So, like, as a manager, from that point of view, is it hard to put your foot down sometimes with your employees, or they listen to you like?
Sometimes it really is because you have to balance of being the good guy, and sometimes you gotta also balance know that you know what, I'm also your boss. Not saying I'm the bad guy, but you know what, we can play ball, but I need you to keep on playing instead of you just trying to go out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that
But
makes sense,
It,
man.
it kind of is hard, but at the end of the day, always respect. Never kid around, cause start kidding around, people like disrespecting on that. But
Is there anything like you wanted to get before you started a business, then you were able to afford after you started a business, started bringing in money, like the nice truck you got? Is that something that you're like, you know what, I need a badass truck, or I need my own this or that? Was there any material thing that you got after working, in this job environment that you got later on?
well, I wouldn't say because of that I was able to do this, but I was able to advance from what I always do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because I always been the type of person. You know what? I need to level up from each stuff that I get.
Yeah.
If I get a truck like this, you know what? I can get one even more next time.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. By me having this opportunity, that job gave me the opportunity
Yeah.
for me to level up and get whatever I have now, like the truck that I have and all this stuff. So yeah.
So like, do you have like a dream as far as like growing your business, or like how do you see yourself, in future years? Do you see your business growing and just like moving forward like that?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. I see it, especially where I'm going at. My vision is I try to see as far as I can. I don't want to get too over myself sometimes, but I do see my business going far, and I do see myself being more than just a contractor.
Yeah.
I see myself just being out there, and that's why I really want to work so hard right now, so I can get to that point.
Yeah.
So I can see that further and beyond, and be like, you know what, the groups over there, groups over there, groups over there, and groups over here, and I still got my little stuff, and this is how I started.
Yeah.
It's like saying I already have my castle with these first stuff that I started with. Now I just got my empire across everywhere.
Yeah, just spreading.
Yeah, yes sir, yes sir.
Yeah. See, actually, it was very similar to my own spiritual journey, to where at first I was interested in Hinduism, but I didn't find a real community for Hinduism. Then I started to branch out spiritually, but then I wanted to not just get to know people around me that had similar spiritual ideas, which are very few in Flower Mound, obviously.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I wanted to reach people around the world and collaborate with them to create my channel as not just me talking, but a network of people that cooperate and help spread the message of that you can be the person that you want to be spiritually. You don't have to be told by your community, your parents, your surroundings that you have to believe this or that, but you can believe and be the person that you want to be. And that might sound very vague, but like I'm open to many different kinds of spiritualities, many different religions, and people just trying to understand it for themselves.
You break
and
your
not
boundaries, and that's what's good.
Yeah.
And that's yeah.
Because we all have those expectations that surround us, throughout our lives, and a lot of the time, it's expectations that demand that you do this or that. Like maybe that you are a barber forever. Maybe your parents wanted you to be this or that forever. Did your parents kind of put any force for you to do this or that, or was it?
Well, not really, but they wanted to keep me going at it because I was good already. Because at first I never chose to be a barber, and then like my mom made me, but I did it to help out, and I got real good at it.
Yeah.
And that what you're saying, yeah, man, it completely makes sense. Because there's a lot of people that just wants to live by the rules, basically, in how society already wants. But certain people like us just like just learning different stuff.
Kind of branch out and.
Because trust me, whenever I went from Catholic, we're not saying I went from Catholic to Baptist and I got baptized, but whenever I was trying to change my perspective like that, I got not a lot of hate, but a lot of questions from my family.
Yeah.
So the Catholic, but then when I came back from learning different knowledge and I asked them, they couldn't even answer my questions.
See, that's something that I also experienced in Catholic Church. Is that I would ask the priest about a catechism, for instance, and like he couldn't really answer me. It was really strange because you expect a priest to be able to answer you, but then I started to realize he can't answer me because some of the questions that I have he might not have even had. He was expected into the role that he became, and really that defines my spiritual journey, becoming. Connecting with the multiverse in the way that I want to connect. It's not about somebody telling me how I have to believe or what I have to understand.
Yeah.
And even in the transition that you had between Catholic Church and Baptist, I think that you had a bit of that as well. So in kind of in closing here, is there any advice that you want to give to the audience as far as achieving, a greater level of what you want to be, step by step? Or is there any advice you want to give just as a person as far as like pursuing who you want to be, basically?
Yeah. Well, if you feel like you're working extremely hard, just know those are the precious moments that you gotta be remembering, because that's just gonna make you progress even. Not make you progress, but that's what's gonna take you farther. Because sometimes, like basically saying like this, we don't know when the precious memories are being made. I wish somebody would let us know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We have to be conscious of the moments that we're living now when we do go through strife, when we do go through pain, and then being aware of those moments later on down the line. Not only will it help us evolve, which is even more important, but later on, down on the line, we remember back, and then that helps us move forward in the future.
Yeah.
Because it's the moments when we were barely getting going. Remember, you look back at your life and you're like, okay, well, I need a little bit of that creative spark in my life, that dream to keep us moving forward.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be my message as well. But, hey, thank you very much for talking to me, Joseph. We'll, of course, continue to chill. But, hey, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, shoot them down in the comment section on YouTube. If you want to say that you agree with some of this, or you don't disagree, or you do agree, shoot it down in the comment section below. We've been drinking a little bit. So thank you very much for watching. I hope to see all of you on my channel in the future.